Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's hard to believe, but it's been 90 days since I had both my upper and lower arches replaced with All-on-6 implant prosthetics by Dr. Grant Olson and his amazing team at Innovative Dental in Springfield, Missouri. And honestly, it feels like it's been so much longer than that. So much has transpired in these past 3 months, and I'm here to share my experience with each and every one of you. So if you're considering having this procedure done, maybe you're already on your road to recovery, or you just like a good transformation story, stick around because I'm your guy. Let's talk about how I'm feeling, what my experiences traveling with these implants has been like, and even a surprising confidence boost that I was not expecting. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Whew, the tooth pain is real. I'm not kidding.
Now, if you're looking at my face, you can see I still don't have black eyes. I still have yellow rings over here. I still have yellow rings in my cheeks. If I were to peel my lips back, my lips are actually bruised. My tongue, it's it was a major ordeal. What is the cost of good health, right? To me, if I had to go back and do it again, they told me it was going to cost $100,000. I would probably do it again because it's going to provide me with a much better overall health and let me stay around longer for my family. So first things first, how do I feel? In one word, amazing. Beyond the initial recovery during the first 30 days, I've had zero issues with my implants. No discomfort, no unexpected challenges. It's been a fairly smooth transition into my life with a new smile. One thing that surprises me is how quickly I've adjusted to them. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I did have some struggles right out the gate, and I want to be clear that this had nothing to do with Dr. O or Innovative Dental and what they did. It was simply the way that my body reacted during the healing process. It did not take kindly to it, and I did have some discomfort throughout the first month, but at the end of the day, I did have 17 teeth yanked out, implants installed, and I'm 50 years old and not in the greatest health. I was also a smoker at the time, and that affects how you heal due to the limitation of blood flow that runs through your body. I went back and watched some of the videos, and yes, I was a little bit upset, a little bitchy, just a little bit. But at the end of the day, I was more upset with myself for not being able to heal instantaneously. We all have that sense of instant gratification, and I didn't experience that. And that's what I was upset about, I guess. However, as I sit back and think about it, if you told me on day 1 or even day 2 that 90 days later I'd barely even think about my implants throughout the day, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have told you were crazy. But yet, here we are. What about travel? Let's talk about travel for a minute. So if you've been following my journey at all, you know that I do travel quite a bit for work. And since getting my procedure performed, I've been all over the place. Been in the air, on the ground, you name it. A lot of times I am in Chicago for at least 1 week a month. I was able to go down to Houston, Texas at the end of last month, early this month, and do a speaking engagement at a 3-day conference. And it was an absolutely amazing event, and I got to do it with a smile. But regardless, I spent enough time traveling that it could actually account for a second-time job. So, did I experience any issues in the air or not? No major problems at all. Flying is fine, no issues. How about eating? Eating can be a bit of a challenge, especially when you travel and you're accustomed to just grabbing a bag of chips or something hard while you're buzzing through an airport, or just going in your pantry and trying to find something to munch on. It's hard. I mean, sometimes at work, we have food catered in and it's something I can't eat. Maybe it's a taco bar and I've got to learn how to make taco salad with no crunchy shell. But, at the end of the day, you become adaptable. You learn what you can eat, what you shouldn't eat. I actually learned that, like, when I travel all the time to Chicago, There's a handful of restaurants in our vicinity where I'm at that makes an absolutely amazing, amazing salmon dish. Something I'd eat occasionally before, now I eat it quite often. And that's okay. I've learned how to be adaptable with what I want to eat. Now, I have not gone out and ventured and tried super hard things yet. I'm from Houston originally. I love, Tex-Mex, Mexican food, things like that. I can't take a tortilla and eat chips and salsa. I just can't do it. Not yet, anyway. But let me tell you, you take that chip and maybe 3 or 4 chips and you stick them around the bowl into the queso or the salsa and let them soften up just a hair, you're good to go. If you shouldn't be eating it, you'll know right quick because you'll get a little stinger there. You'll get a little discomfort on the posts. But at the end of the day, eating's been a challenge. I can't eat what I want when I want, and I've got to be more cognizant about what I stick in my mouth. But with that being said, I'm not starving, so it all ain't too bad. So what about my speech? This was the actual number one concern I had. And you may not be able to tell this, but I am actually a trained presenter and public speaker. So anything that could actually interfere and get in the way of what I do scared the living life out of me. So right out of the gate, there was a relearning curve, but it was not bad. I obviously experienced a lot of swelling and soreness in the mouth and jaw area after the procedure, and that did temporarily impact both my speech clarity and articulation. But I purposely jumped right here behind this camera like I'm doing now and kept recording myself, working on learning my mouth again. And I know that you probably think that sounds absolutely crazy, but you have to learn your mouth again. Now, I do still have a touch of a lisp, and you can hear it as I talk to you. It doesn't bother me, though. But what I want you to do is go back and watch some of my videos right after I had the procedure done, or even before it, and you can see for yourself. Now, you're asking yourself, why do implants affect your speech? Well, it's because of the exact location and position of the implant and where it is in the jawbone, and it can influence the movement of the tongue, which can potentially affect the way that you articulate certain sounds. Additionally, implants, especially in the upper jaw, from what I understand, can change the shape of your palate and the way and the place where your tongue rests against it, which does lead to potential speech difficulties. But just keep talking. As you continue to heal, you're going to find your voice. Should you still feel as if you're struggling and you don't like it, well, don't forget, there's professionals out there that practice in speech therapy, and that might help you in the long run. But whatever you do, don't let your speech deter you from getting your problem fixed. The longer you expose yourself to these bad teeth, the longer you're going to ultimately affect your overall health. I would choose my overall health over having a little bit of a lisp like I do now any day of the week. So, what adjustments have I had to make? Well, the biggest one's flossing. So, since my follow-up appointment, Dr. O gave me a Waterpik portable flosser to ensure that I was water flossing between my teeth and under the bridge of my implants. This is an area that you will instantly know when food gets caked up on or lodged in your mouth. And considering the amount of travel that I do, the tool that Dr. O provided me was fantastic. Now, let me tell you one thing though. I do have a Waterpik countertop flosser at home. I've had one for many years. And in my opinion, the multiple levels of adjustable pressure on the countertop one versus the travel one is a total game changer. The portable one in my mind is almost like pressure washing inside your mouth. Boy, it can really push some stuff out really quick. And the little water dispenser on it's so small that you got to fill it up, do once to the top, once for the bottom. But whatever you do, if you do get one, make sure you get the little candy cane tip. They also call that the implant denture tip. This way you can actually hook up under there and make sure you get everything blown out quick and easy. I'm going to show some little clips here as you can see, and it works great. And once you travel, the small one is great to have. And when you're eating, you want to get your mouth clean as quick as you can. The food buildup between the teeth and the bridge is probably one of the most annoying things in the world that you'll ever experience. And you will become very critical about getting your mouth rinsed out as soon as you can. So as I sit here and think about what else, I've always been a very confident person, even with my dental issues. So when my teeth started going downhill, I always kept that in the back of my mind, and I just didn't smile as often as I used to. I honestly never really cared how I looked in photos. I taught myself to smile without showing my teeth, and that is actually something that I am having to work on now, because over all those years, the muscle memory of not grinning or smiling, big, has set in. So as much as I want to smile, I can't obviously show my full smile until I continue to work on that. But here's what's interesting. When I returned from my speaking engagement in Houston, I had a friend of mine text me a photo for, us in a small group were acting a little silly. We had a group photo made, and much to my surprise, I was smiling as big as I could. And quite honestly, that's all you could see, because, these teeth stole the show of that picture. I didn't even realize it, but, this procedure has actually kicked my confidence up a little bit more. It was never about insecurity. It's not about feeling, like something's wrong. I'm actually proud of my smile. And, that was something I obviously didn't anticipate, but I do love. So as a side note, throughout this entire process of researching the procedure, getting the procedure done, and now during the recovery phase, you become an absolute tooth snob. You'll become that person who analyzes everyone's teeth, no matter who you look at, whether it's on TV, right here on YouTube, or even just talking to someone face to face. You're going to think to yourself, what did I like about, or what did I dislike about their smile, their teeth? Should their front teeth been a little bit longer? What shade of teeth do they have, or what should they have? And so on. So just prepare yourself. I can't imagine that I'm the only one that does this since going through this process. But as I kind of wrap this video up, I've finally been home for about a week. So after being on the road for several weeks, I finally got a chance to slow down at home and spend some time with my fabulous wife. And what did we do? We took advantage of some beautiful weather. We decided to give our front porch and little garden area a much needed refresh. Now, to be honest, this is what we like to call putting the lipstick on the pig. What we actually want to do is redo all of it. But we have a very specific way that we want to do it, and we know how much that's going to cost us. So we're not going to do it haphazardly. So we're just going to keep on freshening up what we have, making a few small improvements here and there just to keep the curb appeal up. And like I said, this is the lipstick on the pig. But honestly, it's the first time that I've actually physically had an opportunity to work outdoors, whether it was shoveling or tossing mulch, climbing ladders, taking shutters down. But guess what? Still no issues. Well, that is other than some sore quads and a sore back for about a week. So if you're interested in learning more about us, or maybe seeing some of our home projects, living life with an autistic adult, or just about my life beyond this dental journey, we have additional separate videos coming out soon. So if that sounds fun to you, stay tuned. But as we finalize this, 90 days later, what's my final verdict on All-on-6 implants? Well, 1, no regrets. 2, still no pain. 3, nothing but confidence, comfort, and a brand new smile. And it's not even my final version of this magnificent smile. That's what excites me. So if you're considering having this procedure and have questions about the experience, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. And if you enjoyed this update, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And don't forget, you can always go out there on YouTube, check out Dr. Grant Olson, Innovative Dental Centers. They have YouTube pages, and you can learn a lot more about this process on their website. And you can also schedule a virtual consultation on their website. So I'm not getting compensated for anything for this. This is just my honest opinion, and I truly recommend them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.